What is up, savages? It's Friday, finally. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody had a good week so far. It was not a good week for crypto though, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Basically, if you're new here, what we do on this show is I have a list of 137 now GPU-mineable coins, and we randomly pick. We use the Google random number generator, and we randomly pick one, and whatever we land on, we mine. Except for in this case, the first couple ones that I landed on were like, you know, abandoned projects or some real problem with them. So I'll show you that. But basically, I pre-record that part. So I will go ahead and start that right now. I've got it set to where it's actually going a little bit faster. It goes like twice as fast. So I think we hit a 9 is what we ended up hitting. And it landed on anonymous coin. I wrote it down as a non-coin, and with a ticker of ANON and stuff like that. And then I went to CoinMarketCap and I got confused. I got like a little wrapped around the axle. I was kind of excited to see it was ANON because I've been wanting to kind of look at that project a little bit. I think it's a new project, but you can see right there where I found there was an older ANON coin. I think it was from 2013 right here. But for some reason I didn't notice that the ticker symbol was different. It's ANC, but anyway. So I was like, man, this is kind of weird. Why is it, is it like a regenerated project or something that someone picked up and then, started working on again, or what? So it takes me a couple minutes here before I figure it out. I was like, oh, okay, it's like a totally different thing. Because the ticker symbol is different. So it's, one of those things that you just kind of have to get used to, I guess. You have to work through it. And eventually I get over there. Hey, what's up, Gabriel? Eventually I get over there and I say, okay, something's not right. And then I go back to CoinMarketCap and I see that it's ANON, and then the ticker symbol is actually ANON. So then I'm like, okay, now this is the right one. This one looks good, right? So I document the current value of it. I open up their website. I notice right here, I don't know if you saw that or not, but it doesn't say mineable next to it. Like on CoinMarketCap right there, it's supposed to say mineable, but it didn't. Down there where it says coin, you'll see it. Maybe if I go back to there again. I know this is kind of fast. Like I said, I set it to 200%, so it's twice as fast as it should be. Because I kind of got stumbled up there, so I wanted to make it a little bit faster. So here's where I find the pool. I noticed that it says Zhash, which is kind of similar to like ANON. ANON has Equihash 2109, but everywhere you see it, it says ANON, right? So this is kind of the same thing. It's Zhash. Which means Equihash 1445, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's right. So I'll go over here and just document, whatever the basic hash rate is for the 6-card rig that we're going to be using. And I go to Bitcoin Talk and I look up their coin or their ticker symbol. There's a whole bunch of different threads on it, results, but I was like, it must be this first one. And it looks like it is because it came out around September. So September 19th. And this looks what I'm used to seeing about ANON. Okay. It looks like they've got a really heavy bounty program going on. All kinds of different bounties you can get. Creating, all the way down to like creating a signature or something like that. So it was pretty interesting. I also noticed here that they had a Magnum wallet. So I opened that up because I've heard of that, but I've never really used it, so I wanted to play with it a little bit. But I go down through here and I see some more stuff about ANON, and I've skipped over a bunch of stuff like the two coins that I landed on early and seemed to be bad in some way or not mineable was Solace and Pyro. Both of those seemed to be, I think Solace was more, it seemed, it wasn't abandoned, but it seemed like it was kind of it was really scammy, because it was, you know, it was one of those really emotional coins, you know, like we're doing great things in the world, you know, that one of those kind of things. So, so I ended up not worrying about that one, skipping it, and then Pyro seemed to be like it was a totally abandoned project, so not mineable, or it was still mineable, but you know, it was not a project that was even up and running. So so I go in here to Magnum Wallet, and I want to say that Bitcoin Jake was the one that actually mentioned this at some point whenever we were talking about like how can we safely do this show without constantly downloading the QT wallets and running, you know, unknown programs on our computer, on my computer, and potentially, you know, having malicious software installed and all that stuff. So so I played around with this for a little bit. I didn't, you know, up here it's like talking about import and create, but it seems like there's not a way of creating an Anon wallet on Magnum yet, because it would not let me add it. It wouldn't let me create it. I think maybe it's still in an airdrop situation, because if you look over there, right here, well, I can't show you, but if you look over there, it says claim airdrop, right? And it launched 10 September of 2018, and it says claim airdrop. I don't think it's going to let me create a wallet on Magnum. There might be another way of getting it. I did run across some Anon addresses on their Bitcoin talk. I was able to grab one, you know, to be able to mine to it. And so I played around with this for a minute, and this is another reason I sped this up, because it was just taking a little bit too long. But this is their website. Pretty nice website. I kind of like it. But then I saw, oh wait, they got a paper wallet. So then I go over here, and I didn't realize that I needed to click paper wallet right here, so I'm wasting some more time here. So this was just a single use address here that I was creating. I didn't realize that until afterwards. I was like, this doesn't look right. So eventually I go up there and I click paper wallet and create an actual paper wallet. And then I was like, okay, so which one is my address? So I had to go and check which one was the public address. The one on the left is private, and the one on the right is public. At least that's the way I think it works on this one, because I went and looked at the Bitcoin talk thread for them and ran into a couple. Right here is what I'm doing. See, I'm like, okay, so it does look like it starts with an A for the normal public address, so we'll just use that. So I think I just grabbed one of the addresses, the donation addresses on that page. It might not even be a valid address. It doesn't really matter for this purpose, because we're just gonna mine it for the show, and that's it. It'll never be mined by me again. I don't know though. It does show up on what to mine from time to time. I mean, it's on the list, but I mean it edges its way up towards the top every now and then. You know, I do see it on there. Team looks pretty solid, and I noticed this. It's like got Randman on there as an advisor. I thought that was kind of cool. So clearly, I mean, I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but I do know who he is, and he's probably mentioned this, you know, in his YouTube videos or something like that before. I just don't recall. Not in the know on stuff like that, but it looks like it's a super legitimate project, which I was kind of excited about, because the first two that I ran across were not. So this looked really good. I'll go ahead and get the pool here, and so we've got a wallet address or a receiving address. That's the first thing you need, and then we also got the pool and the port. And then right here, I'm just kind of looking down through and seeing, you know, what miners they recommend and things like that. And they recommend EWBF because it's a Equihash coin. So so we'll use EWBF, and then if we do the AMD rig, we might use LOL miner, or something else. We'll find something if we get that far. What's up, Yashnik? We're just rocking here. Still in the recording or the pre-recorded phase. All right, so that was the end of that. Let me see where we actually ended up here. Get rid of this. Whoa, I don't want to do that. All right. Let's see where we ended up. I think I've got. Remember, this was actually Z hash. Why is it not on here? Did I change it somewhere else? Huh. Anyway, let's see. We got a receiving address, the pool, and right here I said, you know, hey, are we going to use LOL miner? Don't know. It just depends. And then EWBF for NVIDIA. So pretty cool. I've already collected all the info. So basically, wallet, receiving address, then you have to have a pool and a port, and then you know you got to kind of be familiar with the miner options string for simple mining, and then you need the string, you know, or the parameters or the arguments, the actual parameters, arguments for the miner. And we'll use simple mining for this. We could probably go out and do a Windows 10 on this as well. I think I already have that. Let's see. I've got a AMD GPU in this particular computer here. We could do LOL miner. I think I'm sure I have it. Let's try it. Let's try LOL. Try something different. If I can remember where it's at. I think I just threw it in here. Whenever I was doing the ANON video, I had a bunch of them because I was going back and forth doing stuff. All right. If you didn't see the ANON video from last night, I don't think that this is going to be edited yet. Is it? No, it's not. Okay, so this is kind of a plain Jane install here. Actually, you know what? We'll just make sure it is, and I'll just go. Let me go and grab if I still have it. Yeah, right here. Let me grab that, and then we'll go back out here. I'll just unzip. So this will be like just like we downloaded it, you know, from the GitHub or whatever. So I'll just extract it here in place. That way we'll have a brand new. It's just like we just downloaded it, right? And what I explained in the video, the ANON video from last night, is that you basically are only concerned in an LOL miner. Remember, LOL miner is for Equihash coins on AMD and Windows 10 in this case. There is LOL miner in simple mining as well, and maybe we'll get to that. We're only at 9:43, so we got some time here. But basically, you're only concerned with these two files right here. I like to use the run miner with restart because it includes a feature like a fail-safe if the miner crashes. So if you go into here and right click on run miner with restart and choose edit, you can tell it's a fresh load whenever it does that. Then you can see that, hey, what's up, Bitcoin Jake? You can see that it is using, by default, it's using example 0 profile. And it even tells you right here, it's super cool. You know, they at least did a decent job here where they say, okay, this is the only part that a user really needs to worry about, right? But if you look down here, they have a loop for the miner. So it runs the miner. This is lolminer.exe right here, which is this file right here, or this program, the exe over here. The miner, that's the miner file, and or the miner program. But you don't have to worry about it, but it's got this loop down here so that if you run the miner and it crashes, it'll time out, it'll count down 10 seconds, and then it'll just restart on its own. And you can simulate it by running it. It's going to have a bunch of default stuff in there, right? But it will run, and you can see here it's hitting the 580. So it is actually mining right now, right? And this is just right out of the box, but it's mining 0 by default to this address, which, like I said in the video, it's probably not yours. You know, no telling. This is probably one of the devs or something, right? But you can simulate the whole stopping by going to Task Manager or the loop. You can simulate the loop going to Windows Command Processes. I don't know, how's this thing? Just sort by this here. I had it sorted weird. And then right click on LOL Miner and end task. And then see over here how it then started the countdown timer, 10 seconds, and then it's just going to relaunch the miner and start mining again. So all this really protects you from is like if the miner stops for some reason, you know, if it crashes or something like that, it'll just restart. Then we'll get out of here. And then we got to remember though that we have to edit that file, right? We have to edit the profile info in right here. We have to change this because by default it's going to be mining 0, right? Now, where do you figure all this stuff out at? You go to userconfig.json because that's the file that the miner uses for its config. And you're telling it that inside of run miner with restart.bat, all the other stuff that's in there besides the small user editable part. So by default, it's pulling this profile right here, example 0, right? And hang on, let me catch up with chat here. I have not looked at Perl, but I can. I know it's on what to mine, right? All right, so let's go with, all right, where was I? Got distracted there. All right, so it's going to mine 0 by default. So we need to get it to use example ANON up here and this information. But here's the thing. I don't like leaving the example in there. So what I do is I go ahead and take that out, just like that. Oh wait, you know we're not mining ANON. Hang on, we're mining ANON. So there's not an example for ANON in here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make one. So we'll just change this to ANON, right? And I don't know if this is going to work because I don't know if you can use LOL Miner with ANON. Maybe. I don't know. How would we know right off the bat? We would know by going to LOL Miners Bitcoin Talk. So let's do that. I think I remember seeing 1445 on there. So let's go here first, just to make sure, because I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time here. Yeah, 1445, ANON. Boom, there it is right there. Awesome. Okay, so we know, you know, looking at this, we know for a fact now that we can mine ANON with LOL Miner. Awesome. Okay, so great. That's good info. And it shows down here we should get about 107 on this particular card because this is the RX 580 that we're messing with here. Actually, no, take that back. That's for 2109. We should get 25 souls, right? 1445 right here, which is also AKA Zhash, right? All right, so let's go with, where was I at? We need to go back over here to this file, right? Yeah, and we need to set this up for ANON. So we're going to go change some stuff around a little bit here. We need to add our port in here, which we already documented, right? That was part of the pre-recorded stuff. And the port was 1995. Nope, 9090. And then ANON 2. So let's go, and I'm just copying the pool address here. So we're going to throw that in there. And we said, whoops, and we said it was 9090, right? We'll double check that. 9090. Then we need our address too, receiving address here. Alright. How did this get messed up here? Just too long. Alright, so always got to make sure that, you know, this is all lined up right. So we'll go like this, highlight that, paste our address in there, bring that back over. Should be able to put our rig name in here. We'll call it, this is just my PC here, so we'll just call it like that. And then this is a backup pool. LOL Miner allows you to put backup pools in here, but we're actually going to take this out. We don't need it. I mean, you might need it, but take it out. But the thing is that you always have to remember there can't be a comma in the last line of each section. So you got to take that comma out, and you'll see down here that there's not one here, there's not one here, you know. So that's important. And I don't think that there can be a space in between, or a blank line in between this and this character right here. I don't know for sure, but it seems like that's the case. So then we go, we remember that the profile name is now ANON, right? And then we save this, and then we head over to where we downloaded the files at. We go back into Run Miner with restart.bat, and we edit that, right click edit, and then all we're going to do is change this right here from example 0 to ANON, because that's our new profile name. And then we're going to click File and then Save, and then we should be able to just double click on this Run Miner with restart.bat and have it start mining. And you can see right here it's mining anonymous Bitcoin, or it's configured for anonymous Bitcoin. That started really fast. Here's the address. It says authorized, so that's great. This was the pool that we put in there, and the port. So you can see that it did pull the information out of that user config JSON file. And JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object Notation. And that's just a JavaScript file that it can read, the miner reads for information. And then if you remember right, it said on LOL Miner's Bitcoin Talk, it said that this is what we should get. I think it said 25, if I'm not mistaken. Let's head back over there and look. Where is that at? Yeah, right here. It says 25. So we're getting almost 25. Probably will get 25 at some point, right? I mean, here's a 24.6. But you got to remember too, I'm also streaming from this machine, and I'm also running stuff on this machine. So it's not just mining. If I wasn't doing that, it would probably pull that 25. So we'll see. I'm drinking too, actually, Bitcoin Jake. I got a good mixed drink here. All right. It is 9:53 and we are already mining, so that's kind of cool. We probably could go, let's see, we could go through something else. I mean, we could go on simple mining. I don't know, we got 5 minutes. I'm sure we can knock it out in 5 minutes. We can maybe do the NVIDIA rig, maybe. I don't know. Let's do it. I probably have most of the stuff already set up anyway. Actually, no, I don't have a 144. Well, I do have EWBF, so I could probably just switch one of those around. I don't know. Did y'all see this? They added the devs added this pretty cool thing right here where it has a lot of information, you know, about your. So let's not try to mine something. Let's go through this a little bit, or let's not try to mine something else. We're already mining, of course. But I wanted to point this out because I think that this is something that probably can trip people up a little bit sometimes. well, for one, right off the bat, this rig is 580s and 570s, but it's showing 470s and 480s. Probably a pretty simple explanation for that is probably just a slight programming change, or maybe even, well, I don't know what it would be. Some way that this thing is identifying those cards, those GPUs. But it's kind of cool because it has fan speed, temp, and all that stuff right here, which was always a real problem with simple mining. It just didn't have that information, right? And you had to plug something up to your rig. I mean, it had temperature, it had some of it, but it wasn't like this where you could just see it super easy like this, super clean. You can do a reload, a reboot, and the cool thing about a reload is that it doesn't ask you, it doesn't like, ask you, are you sure? It just does it, right? But what I wanted to point out was this. This probably trips up people a lot because, like on the NVIDIA rig, this one right here, the top one, my Kessel rig, this one, if you look at the number of GPU here, right? So this is GPU 0, and it's a 1070. And then 1 is a 1080. Maybe somebody in here is going to be able to explain this easily, but this bothers me that it's like this. I'll get to what I'm. Just give me a second here. All right, so you see the order. It's 1070, 1080, 1070 Ti, 1080, 1070 Ti, and 1070. Now, I know that this changes based on how they're plugged into the motherboard. Got that. It's a hardware thing. Got it. But watch this. If I